What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Jackson here today with my little brother Chubbz.
What's up, everyone?
And today we're going to be doing a follow-up video to our last video where we talked about loot boxes and how microtransactions could be fair. Loot boxes are definitely not the way that they're fair in under any circumstances. Well, in that video, I was mentioning my buddy Aristotle Siri, which, huge shout out to Aristotle. He called like a huge portion of what's happening right now. He said that game companies would come forward and they would actually use like not having loot boxes as a marketing tool to actually propel their game in popularity, things of that nature. That's exactly what we're seeing now. And I'm going to have links down below to everything we're talking about in this. We're going to go all over the place, but we want to take these one at a time and kind of salute these developers.
Right.
And for doing it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that Vermintide 2 was probably like the precursor to this, because that's the first company I had heard of that was giving away free DLC, and it was on a Rags tweet. He had tweeted, you know, they had said basically, no, we're not going to do fucking that. Like, randomized loot is a part of the game, yes, but we feel like we want you to earn that, you know, like that's part of the game.
Right.
Now, the Aristotle recently just sent me on Google Messengers. He says to me, he sends me this quote by Ryozo Sugimoto. I don't hope I'm not fucking butchering that name. But this is an awesome fucking quote by him. He was asked by GameSpot if his team ever considered adding loot boxes to Monster Hunter World. And his response is fucking awesome. And it's kind of like a middle finger to games like Destiny, Overwatch, basically any game where it's a grindy game and the point of that game relies on randomized loot systems.
Right.
Now, that being said, it's a middle finger to those games that are selling tokens to open those.
Yeah.
To have the random chance, saying, here, go ahead and give us money and then you can roll on the fucking random loot too, you know?
Yeah.
And so they asked him if he ever considered having them, and he says, I think that Monster Hunter has already built that kind of randomized item reward into the gameplay. Whenever you carve a monster after a hunt, you don't know what you're going to get within a certain range. Because the way Monster Hunter works, I don't think you ever played them, but the way they work is you go out in the world, you find these big monsters, and you kill them. And you can attack certain parts of the monster, like there's tails that you can break off, you know, so all the way to horns on the head, all sorts of different things that you can break off. And those things are often, when you break it, there's a chance at a rare item that can drop that's actually needed for like the best gear. Okay. And this is usually on like the biggest, baddest ass monster in the zone or wherever it is. The biggest, baddest ass monster in that area will usually be the one that has multiple breakpoints and will have a chance at dropping multiple different things.
Right.
And it's actually a cool fucking way of game. You know, I like that kind of shit.
Oh yeah. I mean? Well, that sounds like a smart way of doing like what we were talking about in the last video with how like Destiny and like the entire point is just a grind. Well, it sounds like that's sort of the same thing, but there's actually skill involved.
Oh yeah. Well, the monsters are usually very hard to hunt.
Yeah.
You have to have a certain strategy. It is multiplayer, so it's you know, and it gets easier as you increase the player count.
Right.
But playing it by yourself, yeah, it's a challenge to take some of those bigger bosses down and actually in the way that you need to in order to get the rare component that you need in order to craft it.
Right.
So you've got certain rare parts that you almost never get. This is back to what he was saying. You've got some of the ones you don't need that you get a lot of, and then there are the rewards for the quests as well. There are some rewards that are standard, there are some that are randomized, and a bit bigger or smaller chance of getting them. He explains that perfectly. You've already kind of got loot as a core gameplay aspect without having to shove a microtransaction version in it. The mechanics are essentially a part of the game, but what about saving a player's time? Our focus is on wanting to get people to play our action game and feel the kind of satisfaction that comes with the achievement you get with completing a hunt and getting rewards. We want people to have the experience that we've made for them rather than the option to skip the experience.
Bungie.
Bam! He just punched them all in the mouth, dude.
Oh yeah.
And it was sexy.
Oh yeah.
Aristotle, like
Aristotle
sent that to me. He was like, dude, this is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Because it's totally how it's happening. And you know, and another game that was doing it also, and this is a game that had already existing loot boxes in it. Like that's what was going on in the game, and that's Dauntless. Dauntless is already going to be hard pressed because when Monster Hunter World drops, it's, you know, kind of the model that Dauntless kind of copied a little bit.
Right.
But they added like free-to-play mechanics because it's a free-to-play game.
Okay.
So they're already kind of probably feeling a little unsettled because of the release of Monster Hunter World coming up, because they're worried, you know, maybe some of our players are going to go, maybe our like our servers will drop.
Right.
And so, you know, this is only in their best interest. Like, this is only beneficial to them. But they came out and they said that they were moving away from the loot boxes in favor of a system that they feel is more player first.
Right.
Which is, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's them also, middle finger to games like Destiny, games like Overwatch, games like CSGO, any game basically where all the rewards of the game are buried behind an RNG wall.
That you
and
have
you
to
can't,
pay for.
yes, you know, and it's created this whole system. Chris was telling me that there's a way, and I don't know if this is true or not. I haven't tracked this down and fact checked this. So at this point, this could just be a conspiracy theory. It sounds legitimate to me because I know that you can sell World of Warcraft accounts. You can sell, you know, gold in game in WoW. People have figured out how to farm gold, or basically real life gold, off of Blizzard games for fucking years.
Yeah.
But I'm told by Chris, my little brother, who I trust, so if he's telling me this, that I believe it.
Right.
But he's saying that you can fucking take the loot boxes, sell them in game for something, so you can farm loot boxes and then sell those loot boxes to people at a price undercutting what Overwatch and Blizzard are charging.
All right.
And then in some way during that transactions of you giving them the loot boxes, you get the money, real life money, that is in a form of credits or something, some online like Bitcoin shit or something.
Right.
And then you can flip that into your PayPal account. So it's incredibly possible for people to be making money off of these things.
Right.
Okay? There's people, they've been making money off of CSGO for years. There was that fucking Dick Martin guy. I don't know, I can't remember his name, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The guy who owned the website that was promoting the gambling that he said he wasn't a part of, and it was fucking unethical up the ass and even illegal because he was fined. So like, and he's fucking working on Call of Duty.
You gotta be shitting
They have him
me.
promoting Call of Duty World War II, bro.
That is the worst person to promote anything.
What a douchebag, right?
What a fucking piece of shit.
Especially a game that opens loot boxes in front of other players in a social space.
Isn't that the guy that was behind the whole CSGO controversy where he was like
he was one of them.
siphoning the money and promoting other things that he started?
Well, it wasn't exactly just
shit?
that. What it was he owned a business that he was promoting under the guise of not owning any stake in that business.
Okay.
On top of that, while using the website, because he owned it and his friend was working with the algorithms or whatever to create it, basically it was you went and you gave it money and you rolled on items that it had available in Steam.
Right.
And it would give you random ones, right? So you were buying something, but it was still like a loot box. And people were fucking nuts over that shit. I think that's how it works. I'm not entirely certain. I don't fuck around with this gambling for fucking cosmetics bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? I don't fucking do it. It's stupid. And when I'm like in a game like Overwatch, that game would never have been like, I didn't enjoy in Battleborn opening loot boxes, even though they were only available through gameplay.
Right.
I didn't like opening them then. I'd get a skin and I'd be like, fucking cool, because the only skin I equipped was the highest one I had earned for the character anyway.
Yeah.
That's the one that matters. That's the one I fucking earned that I'm able to say and players can look at and say, that guy earned that fucking skin. So if I'm wearing the black and purple, that means something, right? It's like in Overwatch where it's like just the golden gun through competitive is the only thing that you can earn that is actually yours. And you can say, yeah, but I earned these loot boxes, right? Because I leveled up. Yeah, but you didn't earn the shit inside of them. That was all luck. None of your skill through the leveling up, none of your skill and all of that means dick, because someone can just fucking take your shit and take shit and buy it.
It's locked behind that loot box, which
Yeah.
is completely randomized. Like, they don't even tell you the numbers of the odds. They're just
Call
like...
of Duty World of War is... But so fuck loot boxes.
Yeah.
But back to that kid. Yeah, so what he was doing was he was fixing it. So he would get like lucky wins and he was streaming it and he'd get everyone excited and thinking, oh, well, we can go win too.
Right.
It's like a bunch of fucking people in a casino watching other people gamble, dude. Like, that's what this website was.
And he's promoting.
And it's under the guise of him not having anything to do with the company that he's like out there streaming and promoting and using. Right? He's saying this isn't my company, and that's how the FCC was able to hit him. I think it was the FCC. Someone fucking hit him.
They shut him down, right?
FTC, maybe the Trade Commission. I'm not entirely certain.
Right.
I'm not a well-educated man. I just know a little bit about a little bit of things. But anyway, what they're doing. But let's talk about let's get back to Dauntless real quick. We went all over the place.
Right.
It's because I've got the Call of Duty thing pulled up about the loot box opening in front of other people. Well, I want to get into that in Microtransaction at Engine 128.
Right.
But I want to talk about these companies that are stepping forward because I think that they should be like...
They should be able to be white knighted and like use that as a marketing campaign, you know?
Because it's a cool fucking market. Yeah. It's a cool thing to say.
And you're hearing the outcry from gamers, especially with Shadow of War.
Oh yeah.
And stuff like that.
And I guarantee you, games like that are filling game sales hurts.
Oh yeah.
I guarantee you, because I know a lot of people that didn't buy it. They said no. They put their foot down and they said no.
Yeah.
I'll wait for a sale. I'll rent it. I'll do whatever I need to do, but I'm not going to buy your game.
Yeah.
Full price.
That's good.
You know? And so, because that's the thing about these. That's why I love how they say player first. Make them more player first.
Yeah.
And then in the quote, he talks about, he wants to make it, we're going to be moving away from loot boxes as their primary monetization to more of a bespoke model like Warframe and Path of Exile, where you'll be able to choose and pick the things you want to purchase rather than go through the gotcha box method. We feel like it's a lot more player first in how it works, and it also reflects a changing interest in the community, which is awesome.
Oh yeah.
So we have companies coming forward and saying, look, we hear you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and whether it's in their best interest or not, fuck it. They deserve this fucking good, you know, this good coverage.
Well, it's like
Aristotle said. He's like, who the fuck had heard of Dauntless before this? And I had heard about it. I never played it. I've never watched gameplay for it.
Right.
But after this, I went and watched some videos on it on YouTube.
Got you a little interested.
It got me interested, as it should, because me as somebody who's fighting against these RNG loot boxes for days now, because they're fucking exorbitant, in my opinion, even with the microtransactions. I'm sorry, with the microtransactions, I think day one sales should go down, or day one prices should go down to $30. That's all they need. When you have people spending like fucking that guy.
15,000 in Mass Effect Andromeda.
Within a week, dude.
It's fucking ludicrous. Who has 15,000? He's got to be like a blow addict, man. Like, if you haven't $15,000 you can just piss away on loot boxes in a video game in 1 week, you may as well just switch to blow. Because I'll tell you what, that's a lot more fucking fun, bro.
It'll make your life a fucking loot box, dude. You'll never know what you're going to get.
Exactly. May get a bloody nose, maybe a heart attack. You might go run a few laps, jump through a few hoops. Who the fuck knows?
You never know what's going to happen. You're definitely going to talk a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the thing.
Well, it's like what you brought up to me about Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah.
That's awesome, and that's a marketing technique that they're using. Where they were like, we have loot boxes, but guess what, guys? It's just for people at the end game who use this currency that they get in game to spend on the loot box, and there's no spending real money on these things.
Okay, and the thing about that it's kind of like the ones in Horizon Zero Dawn. I didn't even like those. You know, you get those random chest rewards.
Yeah.
I hate these things. I view them as, it's just why. It doesn't make any sense. I understand like random quest rewards, like in the case of Monster Hunter World, when he's talking about at the end of a quest you get a random reward. I get that.
Right.
That's kind of cool. It flavors up the text or the quest. You know, next time you play through, you get something different, and it's cool because it's new. And that's always something that is awesome with the RNG based gameplay, is it gives multiple playthroughs many different options for variation.
Yeah. Because
you're getting different things all the time from all over the place, and each playthrough feels a little different and enhances the experience a little bit. But the random crate you get, you know, like you find and you can buy, I'm just like, why? I don't understand it. I don't quite get it. And I view it as like it's an understanding from them that people really do like the loot boxes.
Yes.
That the loot boxes are a huge part of why Overwatch is successful.
Right.
It's not just the hardcore competitive dudes, because if it was just hardcore competitive dudes who had never spent a dime on loot boxes, who hated them so much that it wasn't something they were even looking forward to opening, right? They would they wouldn't have the player base they have. They wouldn't have the popularity. One could argue that Battleborn kind of had that, not because it was like any better than Overwatch or anything, but Battleborn had that because of its like kind of disdain by the gaming community. How it was, I mean, it was a less than stellar port, so it was kind of only the fanatical that were there. And how many people were playing Battleborn? You see what I mean? So I think that the loot boxes, a lot of people don't understand this, especially gamers like us. Gamers that don't like fucking like, oh woo, I leveled up, I got a loot box, and we open it and we're like, oh fuck yeah, we got, you know, I got this skin I've been wanting, fuck yeah, you know, or fuck, for a character I don't really play, but then you play the character and it kind of adds value to that character to you. I hate that shit. I'm not someone who enjoys that.
Right, but...
And it's hard for people like us who don't enjoy that. It's hard for them to understand how much others can enjoy that. And that's why that story with the 15K is such a good fucking... That's a great story that they published.
Right.
15, that's awesome of him to say that. Like, Manveer Air, he can hate me all he wants if he truly does. I don't think he does. He sounds more like a troll ass to me. But either way, I don't give a shit. Keep saying shit like that. Keep bringing to light shit like that, where there are people who are spending $15,000 on loot boxes in a week.
In a game that wasn't even that popular. That had negative publicity. People were bashing it. People were hating it. People were hating him. People were hating people that were like part of the
that game was not.
Yeah,
a lot of gamers did not even look twice at that game. They said fuck that game. They held it as an abomination, and all of their votes are immediately discounted when you think of just one dude spending 15K.
15,000.
What the fuck?
Go do blow, bro.
That's he'd be dead if he did blow.
You'd be dead in a week.
He'd be fucking gone. He'd either be gone or he'd be on the streets with nothing.
Right.
I don't know how he's not already,
dude.
But that's the thing. There's people out there that have that kind of money to fucking throw away, dude.
It's ridiculous.
And a lot of them are these people who are actually opening the loot boxes. Okay. So when a company comes out and says like these aren't player, you know, first. When stories come out about the $15,000, when stories come out like the Monster Hunter world and him saying, be like, look, like we want you to experience the thing that we built. We don't want you to fucking skip it. Yeah. That's stupid. Like we built this, we play tested this. I mean, and he's got a good pedigree. He's the son of the fucking CEO of Capcom.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, if we were looking up the correct gentleman. So he's worked on all the other Monster Hunter games for the portable PS versions.
Right.
Some great games. Like the Monster Hunter series is a great fucking game series. Like this game's gonna do well. No matter what. So they could have put loot boxes in it. And they didn't. And that's fucking awesome. Hats off to that guy.
Oh yeah.
But that's, you know, like...
Well... I really like that because it shows the huge shift in the community. And I thought that it would take a little bit longer than this. I thought it'd go to a weird stagnant place where like people, and dude, that's another thing that you gotta think about is a lot of people, like I will sit there and say, okay, well that $15,000 that went into Mass Effect Andromeda, I don't know where that went. But all the money that Activision gets from their loot boxes, I'm just like, fuck you, that's bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's just sitting in a bank in a different part of the world.
With how much they've made, I mean, you look at, okay, so you think of games like Smite, you look at games Paragon, you know, other similar, I mean, Team Fortress 2 is probably a bad example. I'm not completely familiar with it.
Well, Fortnite is another one.
Oh, yeah, Fortnite. Oh, Fortnite's a great example. I still hate the fucking loot boxes in it, but whatever, what are you going to do? They've added them since.
And isn't
they have them in Paragon and Smite now.
But
they're just fucking everywhere, man.
But isn't Fortnite going free to play?
Fortnite is... Yeah, Fortnite is going free to play.
And Paragon was free to play.
Yes.
And Smite's free. That's the thing, is free to play games. I don't give a fuck if you have these because it's a way for you to get extra
I still don't
cash.
like them. I don't like RNG, and I don't think that you need them. I think that when they quote games like Warframe, games like Path of Exile, they're talking about companies and games that have stayed consistently growing.
Right. Well, I meant like
not only the game but the company, like hiring more people,
right.
adding more substantive like big content packs. Like they just added the Plains of
right.
Eidolon to Warframe. It's like a huge open world thing.
Well, what I should have said is like, I don't care if you have them. I should have said, I don't care if you have microtransactions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because, like, that's where you're going to get the money. It's completely free to play. If you want to sell skins for characters or, like, different accessories or even, like, content drops, you want to sell a map for, like,
characters.
like $5, you know?
Well, you sell a character pack, and you get $30 there, and then they sell skins here and there, and people buy them. People enjoy buying things that they pick out.
And it's free to play.
Yeah.
And it even makes it that much better because you feel like, well, I'm supporting these guys for what they've given me. Instead of it being like, I supported them, so now I'm going to support them again and just keep supporting them. You know, I have to buy into the experience and I have to buy into the randomized reward system.
Yeah.
I have to buy into the microtransaction. I have to buy into the DLC.
And in most cases, it's not even that you feel like you have to buy in, but it feels like they want you to.
Well, that's the whole point with their marketing.
Yeah, but the thing with like a Warframe, other things like free-to-play games, they have that. And it's it's not acceptable or whatever. And there's free-to-play games that do it less egregiously than others. But there's that certain point that you hit where it's a grind. And it's either like, okay, we'll pay up or spend the next month playing this and only this.
Yeah,
you know
every day, all day.
But when AAA games are starting to resemble that, and that's definitely where we're going. And and the thing is there's definitely pushback. It's just at what point, like these companies, at what point do people get sick of it? Like with this Call of Duty World War II, like that's another huge game that's going to decide, like, because here's the thing, it's sort of going to show you who is truly fed up with these loot boxes and how much they really are.
And it's also going to show,
because the game looks slamming.
Oh yeah,
the game looks really fun. I've seen a lot of gameplay of the pre-alphas and the betas and the Warzone mode. It looks different. It looks unique. I like how you have to escort the tank and things.
Right.
It looks really fun. The story mode looks to be pretty awesome as they went for authenticity. I don't know how much that's going to stand up under the current wave of, you know, like, let's be offended by fucking shit that we haven't even fucking seen in our lifetime. Or if you look it up, it's got black and white fucking pictures about it.
Or let's find the most innocuous thing and complain about it.
I don't know how historically accurate it's going to be. It is also a Call of Duty game, so they're very, like, pro-America. So they don't tell a lot of the fucking, you know, actual shit that happened during the war. It's kind of one-sided.
Right.
In Call of Duty games, because it is sort of, you know... And that's, like, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with patriotism. There's nothing wrong with learning every side of history, either.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I think that's something that could have been accomplished here. I don't know if it will. I heard that they were going to try to do that. That you know, you need to have a game, and as awesome as Wolfenstein 2 is, it's awesome for a reason, because it's a science fiction based narrative. You see what I mean? Like, it's in the future, Nazis have taken over, and it paints them as the oppressors that they more than likely, almost definitely fucking would have been. It was a fascist regime.
Yeah.
And it would have, and it's told through this, you know, like, kind of steampunky way where they're, you know, developing steam or nuclear fucking robots and shit.
Well, it's
I don't know if it's steampunky or whatever.
Well, they don't go for historical accuracy, is more like just authenticity.
It's having fun.
It's authenticity, because there was that one game, the Wolfenstein, that's the name. It was, I can't remember who developed it, but I played it for the PC. It came out in 2000. That game, it was like sci-fi, but if they tried to go with the authenticity, they tried to make it feel like you were in Germany, in these cities, and like you were,
World War
and
II.
you actually could feel the Nazis were like on the streets, and you had to like prowl around in the sewers and shit. So like,
one thing I would like to see, I would like to see some of like the countless guys who actually fought against Hitler. who were against what he was doing, and there were a lot of Nazi soldiers that were.
Right.
That were seriously just under the fist as like the people in the fictionalized Wolfenstein 2 would have been.
Right.
You know, there were still, you know, because if you consider that Wolfenstein 2, the whole world is Nazis, right? Everyone's a Nazi.
Oh yeah.
Because you are under the control of Nazis, right? So like you aren't a Nazi, you're obviously part of the rebellion and you're fighting. But at that point in time, it was like those people were being shot on the street.
Oh, yeah.
They were being fucking sent away and never seen again.
There were Nazis who were like, at the beginning, were like, yeah, this is a good idea. But after, like, the atrocities started to happen.
I can't remember what movie it was. But
it was Brad Pitt.
It was TC. You're thinking of... Yeah, you're thinking of Inglourious Bastards. That was more of like a Wolfenstein 2, like where they were just fucking around with it. You know what I mean?
That one with Tom Cruise, it was like Valkyrie or something.
It was Valkyrie.
That was a good movie.
That was a great movie.
Oh yeah.
But there were guys over there that were fucking like, this is fucked up, and like
they were scared. Him.
Yeah, but they were scared and they were trying to do it, but like it was and you know, this happens with these, you know, fascists. Like what they do is they actually try to get you to start snitching on each other and like telling the authorities of like you know where someone is, or you know that someone's been talking shit, and like it creates this whole system of distrust within the people, and it's actually what's going on. I'm not gonna, let's fucking get away from this.
Yeah, let's get away from it.
Back to the Call of Duty World War II. Let's talk about something that's not historically accurate for fucking 100%.
Here's one point that I want to add on to what you were saying, is how like this is going to bring out people who are not okay with these loot boxes.
This is going to show
because this is showing the resistance of these Activision Blizzard, and especially them, because they've been the most profitable from these sorts of transactions for years.
And the most egregious and sneaky and slimy.
Oh yeah. And so the thing is this is their resistance, and it's going to show the people who aren't okay with this, who are like not going to do it at all.
Yeah, we're done with the fucking loot boxes.
But then it's also going to show who the whales are and who these people are who are like making entire YouTube channels around this shit.
The whole thing about that, you know,
because you can now watch them open their shit,
and that's what this is. This is a giant fucking fishing pole with a giant hook, and they are giving it to you no matter what. You have to use this fishing pole, you have to use this hook, and you're going to catch fish for us. And even though, you know, we're nice guys, we're going to give you some for free through earning it in game, you know what I mean? But you're going to take those and you're going to open it in front of other people. So it's either going to make you feel better because you're going to get something cool and they're going to be like, oh my god, look what he got. Or it's going to make them feel good, or shit, because they're going to be like, oh man, look what he got. I've been wanting that for days. I guess I'll throw 50 down.
Yeah.
And that, you know, it's seriously to the point where it's a mission that rewards you bonus chance at loot or some ridiculous nonsense where if you watch someone loot these things, it increases your odds of getting loot.
So you open yours after you watch them.
This is Microtransaction Engine 128 in fucking action.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, there was that whole point of that article was that they would match up people who would get certain microtransactions that do clearly affect gameplay. Like, for example, they brought up the Call of Duty where the person, the newbie, would get put in with a veteran. And, like, this isn't, like, time played or skill based. This is microtransaction based. So if you're a noob, that means you've spent little to no money. Veteran, you've spent a lot, and you've got a lot of good shit.
Played a lot.
Yeah, and you've gotten some shit, and like it's changed the game for you. Well, what it does is it incentivizes to put them into a lobby, either together or against each other. They're in the same game. And the veteran will have a gun or a shotgun or a sniper, something that he bought that the newbie is playing a shittier version of.
Yep.
Right? Like they're playing with a shitty free shotgun.
Now,
this guy's playing with the top $20 fucking shotgun.
Supposedly these things are cosmetic only. They're hiding behind that fucking argument that people are still fucking shouting that it doesn't affect the gameplay. Oh, really? It added a social space and the fucking option for you to view other players' open loot boxes and get loot.
And this is Activision, of
in
course
front
it
of
does.
each other. It doesn't affect the fucking gameplay. It's only cosmetic. It's not going to change the way the games are fucking played.
Right.
Alright, so you look at that This is what they're doing. I mean, it's what I said they were doing when fucking Overwatch came out, and it was just everyone was like, it's cool. I was like, no, this is gonna lead to a fucking. They're slowly. Activision doesn't give a shit. Activision is doing this in every game. There's a reason they bought King fucking Games.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason they fucking wrapped these things up after fucking in Destiny 1 after the fucking Taken King. They waited until they gauged the market. They watched. They waited to see the controversy and praise. They knew that the Taken King was accepted and praised. They added the fucking loot boxes. Black Ops 3, they waited. They didn't put fucking guns in it right away. Not for a while, but eventually there were fucking guns in those motherfucking loot boxes.
Yep.
Right? So when they tell me in World War II that there's not going to be any fucking weapons or any pay-to-win mechanics, I don't fucking believe them. Right? I don't believe them. I have no reason to believe that fucking a person like that has done what they've done.
You can't believe anything they say. They say, well, it takes too much money to make these games. Motherfucker, how much money do you have? We don't even know. You are sitting on top of billions in the Netherlands. Many. You're laying off people. You're buying King Crush for a ridiculous amount of fucking money. Like, you guys are like the fucking rich man who walks out on the streets, and you've used this analogy before, but it's so perfect.
You did. This was your analogy.
This is like they're rich as fuck, and they're walking out in a dirty ass shirt and some pants that's got mustard and shit all over it, and they're sitting there with a freaking hat, and they're like, money please.
And then they go around the corner, they hop in their Mercedes Benz, they fucking drive to their fucking,
laughing like a bastard the entire way home.
They drive to their fucking penthouse, they bang fucking 10 coked out hookers, and then they go to bed and they wake up and they do it all again. They throw their shitty clothes on. They act like we need more money. We can't afford any, we just can't afford it. We have to have these things in the games. And then they do it. If that's fine. Like, fuck you. All right. I'll buy it. I'll buy that you have to have post-content DLC. I'll buy that you have to have post-content microtransaction items that are only cosmetic. I'll buy it. But when you fucking tell me that the only way that you can do it is by fucking delivering it to us through an RNG-based system that is completely fucking obviously designed entirely around the same fucking mechanics as gambling, right? The same casino-like mechanics that get those people hooked in the fucking casino. And you walk in there, they look like fucking leather.
Oh, yeah.
They've just been sitting there smoking for the past 40 years at the same fucking machine.
So rigged against you that they don't even tell you the odds. Just like a slot machine.
Yeah, dude.
It's so rigged against you that the chances of you getting anything good is so minimal. And that's why they don't give you the odds. Is because how many fucking people are going to buy this shit when they see the numbers?
Yeah, when they see 1 in fucking 20 chance at this fucking particular piece of gear.
Yeah.
If you watch some of these openings, you can see that, like, with Destiny, it was the Taken armor. It was that shit that made you look like you had been taken, so you could look cool in front of everyone else in the social space while you were just standing there dancing and encourage them to buy more sterling silver and buy more fucking sterling treasure boxes and open them and get the Taken armor, which never dropped. It just didn't. Like, I've watched a ton of fucking idiots. Fucking, it made me feel dirty. It made me feel like saddened for them, and I was just like, why would you be this person? Why would you be this person who's throwing money at this fucking thing and buying these things, and it's obviously not giving you what you want, but you know that's what you want, so clearly, why wouldn't you just stand up and say, no, fuck you, I'm not buying any of these. You can fucking fuck off. You just sell me that. Alright? Why don't you be that guy? Be brave, step forward, fight back. These loot boxes are fucking retarded, man. But you're the guy who's gonna fucking dedicate a whole channel to just opening them. Sad, pathetic motherfuckers, dude.
Hundreds of people, thousands of people.
I should have been a fucking loot box opening channel.
You, dude. And
I'd probably be sitting at a fucking 1.5 million subs by now.
That's what's sad, is like, this system has clearly turned an entire generation, even more, like an entire people who play them and like buy into them. It turns them into addicts who don't even know it. And next thing you know, you have all these channels of all these people who are open these things, and it's like you're watching them open one after another, nothing, and then they get something good, and it's like the most over the top fucking cheering, screaming. It's like they just got high off of the fucking win. And it's kind of disgusting.
It's sad like, to watch, man.
It's like, it's worse. All right, at a casino, it's more understandable because you're walking out of there with cash. You have value. These people, they have nothing they can walk away from. It is literally such a hollow shell.
The second everyone stops playing that game and its servers go offline, you have spent so much money on nothing.
That you can't even touch.
Nothing but that high.
Yep. And how did that feel? Go do blow. Like I said, go do blow.
In summation, I'd have to say our overall point in this video that we wanted to get across is that I'm very optimistic, especially after seeing Aristotle proven right. I was hoping that would happen, but I remember I even told him, I said, I'm just pessimistic about it, man. You see these fucking people and they're just buying them, and you know, maybe it's because he hasn't watched these fucking dumbasses open these things. But like, something about watching these idiots open these things and like reading these stories time and time again of how much money these fucking things are bringing in, how people seeing comment after comment on my videos about them, about how, yo, fuck you, like they're fair, like you're a fucking bitch. Like I'll lose subscribers over posting videos about this shit. Like I will lose subscribers when we fucking upload this video. I'll lose a fucking subscribers. I don't fucking care. Like, I don't give a shit. This isn't about, like, this is about what we perceive to be correct. Like, I'm not going to say I'm not right when I'm fucking right. And these companies are cowards. They hide behind this shit. And I think that as gamers, and even as even the you know, like the PC Gamer, Kotaku, all those people that are starting to post shit like this. You know, like GameSpot. I think it was GameSpot who got the interview with Manveer Air, who was like, look, like $12,000 in 1 week. Oh, yeah, 15,000. Sorry. God, I keep underselling this fucking idiot. But these fucking, you know, like these stories that are being printed, it's nice to see them being printed. And I almost feel like there's even a sense with them. These people that are constantly just fluffing these companies up. There's even a sense amongst them where they're just like, God damn it, we've had enough. And that's very awesome. And it's awesome to see these companies. It's awesome to see them being white knighted and held up above these others. And it's awesome to see them saying it so boldly. Like, we want you to experience the game that we worked hard on developing for you. You know, we want our microtransactions to be player first. You know, those sorts of statements are slaps to Call of Duty World at War and all the other ones that will be like that. You know, it slaps to those people and this complete lie, because there's lots of big companies that are making tons of money that aren't utilizing loot boxes in any titles. That, you know, do microtransactions if they exist the fair way. You know what I mean? And like, that's why I fucking hate them in Paragon too. I don't fucking care. I don't think they're necessary.
The Paragon ones are bullshit. You have to have the crate, and then you have to have the key, and then it's random if you get either.
No, you don't need the key.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, in Paragon you do. Paragon. I was talking about Fortnite too. Both of them. Fuck them both. Like, they're stupid. I don't like, especially in Fortnite, where it's like fucking the legendary characters and stuff. The shit pisses me off.
Yeah.
It pisses me off that it's buried behind a random chance that's after the first behavioral psychology trick you put on me, which is expectation of a reward. You know, with my XP bar showing me that, oh, I'm going to level up and then I might get a loot box. And then I open the loot box and, oh, look, there's nothing fucking in it that I wanted. It's like, it's not a fucking part of a game that I enjoy. It completely grinds my enjoyment of a game to a complete stop.
Oh, yeah.
It just does immediately. Even those Horizon Zero Dawns ones, I didn't even fucking open half of those. They were just in my fucking thing. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, I would open them when I needed something. I was like, oh, I need some metal. Well, let's hope there's some, you know, like whatever thing I needed. It's just, it's like the ones in Assassin's Creed. Like, I wouldn't even be using those. Like, I'd just say, fuck those. Like, I'll just go kill things until I fucking get it myself.
Yeah.
It feels better that way. You know, I'd rather get you know, like a boss drop 100 fucking times out of a week. I would rather have a random boss drop that's, you know, you might get it or you might not, or you might get something this and you might get something slightly less good and then you get shit. You know, like, I'd have that any day over this, okay, well, it takes X amount of time to get X amount of XP, to get X amount of fucking levels, to get this amount of loot boxes, and then I have this amount of odds on this thing that I want this.
And you don't even know the odds, though.
It's
you
like,
just
fuck
have to
you.
feel for it.
Yeah. You have to go to people who have literally spent money to gain the odds, to figure out the odds.
To figure it out for themselves.
Why would Blizzard have given you the odds?
Because
people are
they
spending
know
money.
that you wouldn't spend it.
People are spending money to figure out the odds.
Yeah.
You know, that's profit for them. And it's fucking Overwatch, these Destinies, these fucking World War II, Call of Duties, Black Ops 3s, any of these fucking games that are doing these fucking loot boxes. I'm not playing them. I haven't played one.
Yeah, I know.
And you know, the ones that are doing them in the, you know, gameplay, like that just shows you, like earlier when we were talking about when you see them in like Assassin's Creed Origin.
Yeah.
You see them in Horizon Zero Dawn. That's just a fucking, you know, like it's like a reaffirmation. It's like reaffirming that they are popular.
Oh yeah,
they are. People want them.
But let's just call them the methadone to these gamblers.
Okay,
you don't have to spend money, but you're still getting that little flick of dopamine on your brain every time you open one.
Exactly. it's just whatever, man. That was the point of this video I wanted to do. I like to wait with these videos with me and Chubbz until we have a lot, you know, enough to say. You want to add anything? Like,
nah, that's perfect.
Yeah, just that, you know, we want to see these people rise up and those other people go down.
More companies do this kind of stuff.
Because if we see that that's the trend, that's the cool thing, that like Dauntless and the Monster Hunters and games like that are the ones that do better, that are praised more. When we start seeing those praised more than like the Overwatches, the Destiny 2s, the fucking Call of Duty World at War, when we start seeing that, that's when we're going to see those games on our side of the fence.
Yeah.
They'll be more enjoyable. They'll have to work harder to keep us interested.
Yeah.
It's not going to have to be behind a fucking, you know, slot machine. They're going to have to get something else to add on top of what they've already given, because, you know, other games are giving that away for free. So it forces companies to be better.
Oh, yeah.
All right, everybody. That's it for me, Jackson.
Chubbz.
Fucking love you guys. Till next time, keep kicking ass, stay safe, stay awesome, and as always, keep thinking for yourself, and don't take anything we say as gospel either. Like, fuck us. We're just a couple of dudes talking. Till next time, fucking catch you later, son of Menji.